Okay. We begin with my first disadvantage is striking Syria will relapse America's economy. Subpoint A, writing 1. My first argument is the United States is on the brink of an economic relapse. The United States needs to focus on the economy. Hao Li, writer for the International Business Times, November 15, 2011. Modern history has repeatedly illustrated the importance of economic power. The fall of the Soviet Union was largely caused by economic weakness. The rise of China, conversely, is almost solely fueled by economic strength. If the U.S. wants to retain its superpower status as much as possibly can, it should put its economy on the forefront and spend less effort fighting foreign entities that pose less threat than U.S. economic weakness. 2. In our superpower mentality, we've become a second-class country. Thomas Hefner, reporter for America's Economic Report Daily, May 30th, 2012. Most people are unaware of the easily observable signs of the crisis, where it came from and how to stop it. While we persist in our superpower mentality, we have become a second-class country in many respects. We no longer produce what we need to sustain a standard of living we can no longer afford. Not only was this not the way we became a superpower, but it is a sure way to lose the status. 3. The impending debt ceiling crisis poses a serious threat. Chris Isidore, senior writer for CNN Money, October 4th, 2013. Financial markets are already being impacted in the short run as a result of heightened uncertainty, said Sean Snaith, director of the Institute for Economic Competitiveness at the University of Central Florida. But he said there would be greater long-term damage due to the spending cuts that would occur. The fiscal shock treatment of having to eliminate the deficit in one fell swoop would reduce GDP by more than 5% and cause a severe recession. The Treasury Department has been sounding the warning bells about the debt ceiling. In a report Thursday, Treasury said failure to raise the limit would have a catastrophic effect on the economy, sparking an even deeper recession than the 2008 downturn that accompanied the meltdown in the financial markets. My second argument is a strike will relapse America's economy. 1. Striking Syria will cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Dov Hakim, senior advisor at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Lastly, any strike on Syria would cost hundreds of millions of dollars at a time when the U.S. defense budget is being ruthlessly pared back, may only be a down payment if the Assad regime continues to press on with its offensive. There is no guarantee that the United States and its allies will not find themselves drawn into a much longer and costlier operation than the White House anticipates. The Libya operation cost America well over $1 billion and exhausted the resources of France and especially Britain. Compared to what might be required in Syria, Libya was a budgetary bargain. 2. Our Navy awaiting a strike is costing us. Bryce Covert, writer for Think Progress, September 10, 2013. Meanwhile, the Navy's USS Nimitz and other vessels were scheduled to return home from deployment, but they have been now ordered to remain within striking distance of the country at an estimated cost of $25 million per week. If the U.S. fires missiles and those ships engage in combat, it'll cost an additional $30 million per week. Refueling tankers would also likely be needed, which cost $9.3 million in the Libya operation for more than 800 hours of flight. There are also potential costs associated with safety and rescue teams if anything goes awry. 3. A strike can hurt jobs, freezing the economy. Ben White, senior writer for Politico, September 6, 2013. The August jobs report Friday morning showed a gain of 169,000 consistent with the recent trend. The unemployment rate dipped slightly to 7.3%. Surveys of small business owners suggest they are prepared to begin hiring at a faster rate next year. Much of this could be lost, or at least delayed, if the Syrian crisis spins out of control and Washington blows up in partisan acrimony. Such an outcome could drive consumers to curtail spending and businesses to cancel hiring plans, freezing the economy once again. My third argument is America's economic relapse is detrimental to citizens. 1. Given the current debt ceiling fight, that alone may bring a recession. Paul Davidson, reporter for USA Today, October 11, 2013. The Treasury Department has said it will run out of borrowed money on October 17th unless Congress votes to raise the nation's $16.7 trillion debt limit. Missing that deadline by even a few days likely would shave about 0.3 of a percentage point off fourth quarter economic growth. The nation would be plunged into a severe recession if the impasse extended even a few days past November and meet MyRate other obligations. 2. Unemployment rates soar during relapse. Tavon Pettinger, writer for Washington Post, September 11, 2012. A fall in GDP will cause a rise in unemployment. This is because some firms will go bankrupt, meaning all workers will lose their jobs. 3. Suicide rates rise and fall with economic trends. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention press release, April 14, 2011. Knowing suicides increase during economic recessions and fell during expansions underscores the need for additional suicide prevention measures when the economy weakens. It is an important finding for policymakers and those working to prevent suicide. I now stand open for cross-examination.
Okay. And your second argument, you said something about the Navy was waiting after they were told to go to deployment. After deployment, they still have to wait. What about the other naval ranks, like in San Diego and also in Chicago?
I don't understand your question. They were coming back home and they were told to go back and await whether or not they should strike or not if Syria continues.
Okay. But why should? Why? I mean, we
why
have
did
other.
They stay there?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why did they stay there? They're costing us more money.
Okay. And then in your last argument right now, you just pointed out suicide rates. Do you have the numbers for that? Like how many people?
I don't have the numbers, but it's from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It's a press release, and that pretty much is for the whole government.
And you also stated that small business owners will be hiring better. What about big business owners in the recession?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Small business? I said small business owners suggest they are prepared to begin hiring at a faster rate next year, but I also said that much of it would be lost or delayed if the Syrian crisis becomes bigger by you guys striking.
Okay. And then also, but I thought we were already in a recession. You're claiming that we'll be more in a recession?
We're trying to recover, and we're not even on the brink of getting over it. If we strike, we're going back into recession.
Okay, that's all.
All right.